Greetings, everybody. It's episode 4 of the NyteTime podcast. I am your narrator and host, Matt Higgins. We are in Ankeny, Iowa. I'm sitting in the parking lot of Laundromat, 8 o'clock at night, and just living the dream, I suppose. Do want to say real quick, shout out to my girlfriend, Ginger Wood. Things have been going extremely well with her. I am happier than I've ever been in my life. And that's with the exception of any time I spend with my daughter or my family, of course. Minus my ex, who can go toss. Anyways, we are on location right now. I do have my little setup at home completed. Got some extra monitors and some tablets and all my electronics set up to do the podcast at home from now on. But since I missed last week's for various reasons, I just wanted to get this one up, shoot it while I was thinking about it. And then we'll also get one done this weekend as well. For some reason, Friday seems to be a difficult day to get things done. So it may end up being that I post Sunday night. That'll give me the entire week to see what's going on and talk about it. And then I won't be talking about last week's stuff. So I figure if I post a podcast Sunday nights, then start fresh, collecting information, working on some material on Monday, and then by Sunday I should have everything done and uploaded for you to experience. I say we just get right into it. There's a bunch of articles I have left, and I think I can get them all done tonight and get caught up, along with a few current events sprinkled in there. Understand, these are my opinions on issues. I don't always expect you to agree or disagree. You think how you want to think. I merely share my thoughts and my logic and my views on things in order to impress upon everybody that not all issues are black and white, right or wrong. There are gray areas. There is nuance to a lot of things, and that's not to say that there aren't some black and white issues, because I do believe there are some things where there is a right and wrong, even when opinion is involved. And I'm sure I've talked about that a little bit before, and it'll always be a theme going forward. But like this first article here, guy in Atlanta, Georgia, was inspecting one of his properties in the middle of the night. His name was Joshua Warren, and apparently the house was empty, so it was vacant. Nobody was living there. He was just doing an inspection, I guess a spot check, and he found a young black man sleeping inside. Now, what happened between the two is probably not going to ever be completely known. The articles I've seen have said there was a brief struggle, and then the young man attempted to run away, and Mr. Warren pulled out a gun and shot and killed him while he was running away. This is one of those really weird situations where it's hard to say there's an absolute right and wrong, because usually my view on things is, and I know this is hard for a lot of Democrats and progressives, but I have a pretty hard line on this. If you break into somebody's house and it doesn't matter who's home, if the owner's home, or the owner and his family, or the owner's family, it doesn't matter. If you break into a house, you have forfeited your life. You have made the decision that whatever's inside that house is more important than the absolute certainty that if I don't break in, I won't die. You have made the decision that whatever's in there is worth more than your life. So if you get shot and killed while breaking into somebody's house, and you have to be actively breaking in. I don't want to see somebody throw a brick at a window, it bounces off, and they run away and get shot and killed. There's some nuance there. You can't just open up the front door and shoot somebody like that if they're taking off. But if they're actively trying to gain entrance and you've warned them that you have a gun, and they keep trying to come in, blast away. If they've made it inside your house, I don't care if you warn them if you have a gun or not. Usually my stance would be, fire away. If they die, they die. Don't fucking break into somebody else's house. That's pretty simple. That's a pretty simple rule to live by. Okay? If you've made the decision that your life isn't worth shit, and either a job is unattainable for you, and public health and welfare programs aren't able to assist you, and you can't figure it out, so somehow being a thief is your game, or you're breaking into rape and kill somebody for the fun of it, that's on you. Okay? Now, in this particular instance, Mr. Warren shot this vagrant. I'm assuming he's a vagrant since he's sleeping in an abandoned house. He shot him out in the yard while he was running away. How do you... And I think he was going to try and claim stand your ground, which I believe isn't going to be able to be used. But if they've made it out of the house and they're running away, and you know they're unarmed because you were in a struggle with them, I can't 100% condone shooting them. In this particular case, the house was vacant. I'm pretty sure once the guy broke in and he saw that, he figured it was a safe place to sleep. He wouldn't get messed with until he went on with his, life the next day. It didn't say that he, trashed the place. And the fact that he was running away, he had escaped and was running away, that's probably where I would draw the line in being able to just execute somebody. Because that's what it was. It was an execution. You knew he was unarmed. He was running away. He didn't pull any weapons on you, so you killed him. You decided that his breaking in and sleeping in an abandoned house was worth the death penalty. Now, had you been there when he was trying to break in, I would have a little more ground to be on your side of it, Mr. Warren, but I can't because I don't believe in shooting people when they're running away. I just don't. Cops do that all the time, and and they're protected by the shield, and they're supposed to know if that's a good idea or not, and they still don't, and they do it anyways. They just execute people for the fuck of it. So I can't abide that one. I can't get on your side. But like I said, a little bit of nuance. And this is for people that are struggling and think that crime is the way to go. I understand people fall in hard times, but you also have to understand there's certain things that are going to get you into trouble. And the way things are nowadays, where you can just have a fucking gun and there aren't any adults left in charge of making the laws saying who can and can't have a gun, which means everybody can just have a gun, even the mentally unstable ones, the people that can't reach the decision in their head that, yeah, I shouldn't shoot somebody running away especially when they're unarmed, that person gets to have a gun. And I don't think that's right. So maybe try and find a different path other than crime. I don't have an answer for you. What I am telling you is you're going to find a lot less people sympathetic to your situation if you get shot and killed when you're trying to start shit, or you're stealing from somebody, or you're accosting somebody, because you don't know who's got a fucking gun. And you definitely don't know who's in the right frame of mind. It's not worth your life. It's not. Florida woman loses $11,000 to an Arizona lottery giveaway scam. I have no sympathy for this kind of thing. This woman, I don't know how, in this day and age, I don't know how you get scammed. I really don't. If somebody contacts you and tells you you've won a shitload of money, and then tells you that the only way you can get it is by giving them money, that falls under such a common sense thing of, well, if you're going to pay me millions of dollars because I won it, then whatever fees that you think I need to pay, take it out of those winnings. Okay? That should be the first thought that runs through your fucking mind is, hey, I shouldn't have to pay money to win money. Hello? This isn't a fucking senior citizen. This is a woman who's in her, I think, 20s or 30s. And she's mad because, and it didn't happen all at once. $11,000. This was over time. This was multiple transactions that they kept telling her she had to pay in order to get these winnings. What the fuck? It took her till $11,000 before she finally decided that it was a scam. Really? At $9,000, that wasn't it? $11,000's your mark? You gave away $11,000 of your money to somebody you don't know who told you that you won millions of dollars. Like I said, I'm reclaiming the power of this word, retard. That is retarded. No sympathy. And I'd like to make fun of the fact that she's from Florida, because it seems like most of the retards flock to Florida for whatever reason. It's just full of clearly insane fucking people. But there's people across the U.S. that fall for this kind of shit all the time. Here's a good one. I've been sitting on this for a little while. A Florida deputy, Florida again. I'm not picking just Florida articles. I have a news app that just gives me stories from across the world, and I just click on them, and if I like them, I send the link to myself so we can cover them. Florida deputy fatally shoots fellow deputy while playing with gun. Andrew Lawson was arrested for manslaughter after unintentionally shooting Deputy Austin Walsh. So you have two deputies playing fucking Yosemite Sam, I guess, or cowboys and Indians, or whatever it is these fucking amosexuals do. Authorities say an off-duty Florida deputy jokingly pointed his gun at a fellow deputy, thinking the weapon was unloaded, and shot and killed him. Now, this goes to a couple of points. One, not everybody should have a gun. I don't give a fuck what the Second Amendment says. The Second Amendment, along with most of the Constitution, needs to be rewritten and updated for current times to accommodate the incredibly huge advancements we've made in technology and society. So not only should not everybody have a gun, there should be some serious, very serious criteria created to become a police officer, and you should you should have to pass a very stringent psychological, physical, and emotional stress test before they give you a badge and a gun, which is, that badge is come to mean nowadays a license to kill. Because I think if we forced people to go through, I don't know, a couple years of training in a police academy, along with a couple years of studying the law, as in just lawyer law shit, and then you're allowed to become a police officer, I think we could weed out a bunch of this stupid horse shit that's been happening with the police department. I'm not saying all cops are bad. Cops are human. Okay? Humans are a pretty fucked up bunch of animals. Okay? Our species is supposed to be the smartest and most advanced and better equipped and self-aware. But for some reason, we do some of the dumbest shit. I honestly, when humanity goes away, I won't miss them. I won't miss humanity. I won't miss people. Because of that. Because we have all of this ability and evolution on our side, and we've got two cops playing grab ass with their weapons, not knowing if their own gun is loaded or not. How the fuck, as a cop, do you not know your service weapon is loaded or not? How do you, as a cop, not know not to point your fucking gun at somebody else, even if it isn't loaded? What the fuck? So, I hope that cop gets the book. I hope he gets a nice date in prison, and some young feller will take him under their wing, so to speak. Anyway, here's one. A restaurant cancels Christian group's event just before start time because eatery's staffers, many of whom are LGBTQ+, felt uncomfortable and unsafe. That's too bad. That's too bad. I feel sorry for those Christians. I really do. Getting someplace, trying to spend their money for a public service, and being denied because of how they identify. That sucks, doesn't it? It's kind of like being gay and going to a bakery to try and get a wedding cake, a public business offering a service to the public, and you go in there and you get the order done, and then they find out you're gay, and then they decide, fuck you, you can't have the cake, or I'm not going to bake the cake. It kind of sucks. It doesn't make you feel good. I'm guessing it doesn't make you feel good. And I know that's okay if it happens to gay people, because your religion allows you to be a complete douchebag to everybody else. But if your religion's used against you, it's not okay. And I just want to say that that's astoundingly hypocritical, and it's horse shit, and it's another notch in the belt that holds up the pants of my opinion that religion needs to go away. Religion just needs to fucking go away. Yes, it has its uses. It can be used for good, but it's mostly used for bad. It really is. More bad comes out of it than good. Therefore, I say, let's get rid of it. Put your faith in science. And I know that's hard for people because they can't accept the fact that when you die, there's nothing else. There's no afterlife. There's no heaven. There's no hell. You're here by accident. You will go out as you came in screaming, probably. If you're lucky, you'll go peacefully. God's willing. But either way, yeah, they got denied because gay people found out that they were Christians, and Christians hate gay people, and therefore they didn't want to serve them. And that's just too fucking bad. I don't care. You get what you give. And in this case, you got what you deserved. You identify as a Christian, and that group makes people feel unsafe, unwanted, hated even. Gay people are people. People are people. And they shouldn't have to suffer indignities based off of your imaginary friends that live in other dimensions. And I think this thing had been planned for weeks too, which makes it all the more delicious that they canceled at the last minute. Just an extra fuck you. I guess if your God had been around and doing his job, he would have warned you ahead of time, right? Hey, by the way, there's a bunch of gay people working at that place you booked for your little excursion. They're going to deny you when you get there. Just God didn't feel like he needed to warn you on that one. Protect his flock. Anyway, what else we got? This one happened in, is this Iowa? Yep, it's Iowa. Colfax. The Colfax mother is sharing her agony after her son killed himself after unrelenting cruelty from his classmates. Colfax, Iowa. His name was Nick Carroll, and he was 15 years old when he died. And he died because of bullying. He was a foster child. He had suffered from emotional trauma, sexual assault, and PTSD. He had a service dog. And you had bullies picking on him because kids, boy, if you think humans are bad, human children are fucking evil. They are just evil. Part of it's because that's just how human children are. Part of it is because their parents are either evil or they are indifferent, absentee pieces of shit parents. He hung himself in a farm field with the leash that he used to take his dog to school with. There are people that say, toughen up, develop thick skin, stand up for yourself. And I say that's victim blaming. That's like telling somebody, hey lady, you were wearing a short skirt. I think you were asking to be raped, in my opinion. No, they're not. It's on the person committing the crime. It's on the person being the douchebag, the evil piece of shit, to not be one. It's a lot easier for you to not involve yourself in somebody else's life that has nothing to do with you. Ignore them. That's what we all owe each other, is indifference. Okay? You do you, I'll do me. If I think you're doing something that makes me laugh, I'll laugh to myself. Maybe I'll make a joke with my friend. But I'm not going to go fucking punish you for being different. That's fuckery on a level that's inexcusable. And I think if you are found, and this would be tricky to prove, but I think we ought to shoot for it because it's obviously not going to take care of itself. If you are legally found to be one of the persons bullying somebody who ends up killing themselves, and they kill themselves because of the bullying, you should have some kind of punishment attached to you for being an evil piece of shit and a useless member of society. What do you think? You think if there was an actual ramifications for being a dickhead and an asshole, that maybe we might turn some people to our side of that? And here's what happens when somebody does decide to stand up for themselves after relentless bullying that they don't earn they don't deserve. They go to school and they shoot a bunch of people because they've snapped. Okay? That's what fucking happens. So maybe teach your kids, instead of being assholes, at least put in the fucking effort to teach them to just ignore them. If they say hi back. Have a brief conversation like most adults have to do in the real world, is we have to deal with each other. How about you start teaching them that fucking lesson as they're growing up? It's not on the school to teach your fucking morals. That's up to the parents. I don't understand how we are this far and we still think it's okay to let our kids be just to grow up to be shitheads, to make fun of other people to the point that they want to fucking kill themselves. Unacceptable. I think the kids involved in the bullying ought to have some kind of punishment. It should be semi-severe because somebody lost their fucking life. And then I think the parents of those bullies also need to have some kind of fucking punishment. They should definitely be going through a program for at least a year on how to A, be a parent and not be a piece of shit yourself, and B, how to raise your child and raise them not to be a piece of shit. How about that? Is that too much to fucking ask? If you're involved in somebody's death, grow thick skin. Fuck you. Do you know how relentless fucking kids can be? Do you have any idea? Do you remember fucking school? And now that everybody can have a fucking gun whenever they want, I'm pretty sure if Republicans had their way, you could have a gun as soon as you hit fucking double digits in your age. How about thick-skinned this? How about my kid gets bullied, he shows up and shoots your kid in the fucking face? How's that for standing up for themselves? Problem solved. Not only did he stand up for himself, he stood up for every other kid that fucking bully would have went to once he moved on from my kid. How would that feel? Would you be upset if my kid was being bullied by your kid and his version of standing up for himself was to go find your kid and shoot him in the fucking face? What do you think? Is it a disproportionate response? I don't know. Because the only person that knows how horrible it is the one being bullied. And not everybody is the same. They don't handle situations differently. So maybe stop treating people like shit and pushing them to their fucking breaking point. How about that? How about raising your kids not to do that? You simple-minded motherfuckers. Moving on. Oregon Governor Kate Brown commutes sentences of all 17 death row inmates. Okay? Now, this is a progressive idea that I can't get behind. I believe in the death penalty. The death penalty is there for a reason. It's supposed to be a deterrent. Now, we don't use it often enough, and even when we do slap somebody with the death penalty, they get to live 30 fucking years on death row trying to appeal it over and over and over again. I think we're to the point where we can say we've got the ability to test for DNA evidence, and we start going through this shit. We start offering grants to people to get into law, into criminal justice, into forensic science, and we start working through the backlog. And you get your case reviewed, and if there's no DNA evidence to prove otherwise, and you've been on death row more than 10 years, you got to go. If you got framed and it's lasted this long, I'm sorry. But we need to clean the system out, and we need to catch up, and we need to use the death penalty. The death penalty is supposed to mean something. Right now it doesn't mean shit, because rarely is anybody ever executed. But if you did something so bad that a jury gave you the death penalty, you probably fucking deserved it. So, this bitch just deciding all on her own to commute all of the death sentences, I think is bad. It sets a bad precedent, sets a bad example. I know the jury system is fucked, because you're looking for 12 of the dumbest motherfuckers you can find to be on that jury so you can get your client off for whatever he did, because it's not a lawyer's job to find justice. It's a lawyer's job to protect their client and get them off. Or it's the other lawyer's job to convict somebody, whether or not they're guilty, just if they have enough evidence to do it so they can move on with life. So not only is the jury system fucked up, the justice system is fucked up too. But I believe in the death penalty. And if you earned it, then you need to fucking go. And yes, I know there's been a handful of cases where 30 years later they test DNA evidence and they find out that somebody's innocent. Great. Okay, let's get fucking cracking. Let's start training people and giving them the education to do these jobs so we can get these people either exonerated for crimes they didn't commit or fucking executed for the crimes they did commit. Sorry if that sounds a little too harsh. 3 militia members who plotted to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer sentenced to years in prison. I hope you enjoy your stay in the prison system, you fucking morons. These fucking wannabe children, adult children, they're adult children playing fucking army because they've got nothing better to do, because it's easier to listen to horse shit and believe that there's this great big conspiracy that elections are stolen and people who can turn your kids gay and everybody's coming for your guns and all this other stupid shit. Talk about guys that need to be executed. Right here. These people, the current system of justice doesn't allow for it, but it's my personal opinion that guys like this should just be shot. You plotted to kidnap a governor. God only knows what you were going to do with her. But nothing good, I'm assuming. Just because you don't like the way the laws are written and being enforced, go fuck yourself. Okay, there's better ways to do it. If you want to play army, you want to go play army? You want to go play fucking militiamen? Why don't you go to one of these other countries that are constantly getting the shit kicked out of them and being invaded, instead of playing this fucking game in the greatest country in the world, where you have it pretty easy compared to everybody else. They'll accept you. Go fight for Ukraine or go fight for Russia. I don't give a fuck. Just get the fuck out of here and go get it out of your system. Grow the fuck up and then come back and be a productive member of society. Or if you can't be a productive member, be a quiet one. Fucking A. Self-proclaimed Des Moines psychic settles with Attorney General's office. Yeah. A self-proclaimed Des Moines psychic is settling with the Iowa Attorney General's office over allegations that she wrongly told clients she could heal them. The AG says Allison Campbell has agreed to stop advertising that her services can heal, cure, treat, or address mental or physical health problems. The AG's investigation started because Campbell allegedly told a client he would get his cancer cured. The man's family says later he took his own life when he found out it was untrue. Campbell maintains that she did not mislead clients or break the law. Yeah. Anyway, if you're... So, the guy that committed suicide because he had cancer and found out that the psychic couldn't heal him, I feel sorry for the guy. I guess if you have cancer, you're probably willing to grasp at any straw. So I'm not going to fault him for that. And if he decided to kill himself because his cancer was incurable, then, hey, you choose to go out how you want to go out. I got no problem with that. If you'd rather take your own life than let cancer kill you, you do what you got to do. I got no problem with that. The psychic. Now, the psychic, yes, definitely deserves punishment. you shouldn't lie to your clients with horse shit like that, okay? Now, your job essentially is to lie to people because psychics aren't real. So there should be a common understanding, like a social contract with psychics that says if you're retarded enough to go to a psychic and you're not dying of cancer, you get what you get. You have no legal recourse if whatever the psychic tells you doesn't come true, because psychics aren't real, just like God. Okay? At least psychics are real people, as in their flesh and blood, and they exist, and they're fucking you on this side of the grave. Religion and gods fuck you on the other side of the grave, because they're not there. So, yeah, this psychic deserves to have whatever her punishment, fines. But if you go to a psychic, I don't have a whole lot of love for you. But if you're dying and it's, if you're dying, you're not probably in your right frame of mind. If you're going there because you're having money problems or you're having boyfriend or girlfriend problems, I don't want to hear from you ever again, especially about legal issues like you were lied to and false advertisement or whatever. By definition, psychic should mean scam. So, what else do we got? Federal appeals court tosses anti-trans lawsuit over school sports. This is one where I am for people being whoever they are. I don't believe in God, therefore I don't believe that humans are perfect. I don't believe that nature is perfect. Nature makes mistakes, if you want to call them mistakes, or abnormalities, or just differences. Let's just call them differences and be nice about it. So if you are born a male and you feel like a female and you identify as a female and that's all you can relate to, and you need to transition to be a girl, fine. The opposite is also okay. If you're a woman and you want to be a man, fine. I got no problem with it. It becomes difficult for me when it starts to involve kids in general, but also sports, competition. Because I believe in science, I believe in biology, and biologically, and yes, I'm sure a lot of you will hate me for this, biologically, males are superior to females physically. That's just the way it is. That's part of evolution. So if you're a guy, if you're a boy, and you're in school, but you want to be a girl because you feel you're a girl and you were just born with the wrong anatomy, I'm okay as long as you take some time with a psychiatrist or a psychologist, whoever, a therapist, for about a year or more, just to make sure that you talk through all of the issues and everything's understood and there's no red flags that maybe it's a fad, because kids are fucking weird, okay? Because they're humans, and humans are weird. Sometimes they do shit for no other reason than it's popular, but I do believe there are people that are born the wrong gender. I got no problem believing that. Now, if you want to participate in sports, or you want to be in the same locker room, and you're transitioning, you have to make the transition. You can't walk into a female sport as a male and say you're transgender and just compete. That's not right in my book. You're a guy competing against women. There's a reason why women's sports are separated, because if they weren't, women would constantly get the shit kicked out of them. That's not my system. That's just the way it is. That's why there are male and female sports. What I can tell you is, if you feel that you're a female, in my opinion, you need to go through the therapy, and then you need to go through the gender transformation. You need to get whatever snipped and cut or tucked, whatever. You need to have all that done before you participate in any competitions that involve physicality. I'm sorry. I'm sorry nature fucked you, but that's not a reason to punish other members of society that nature didn't fuck. So if you've got a bunch of girls on a team that were born girls and they all feel that they were born correctly with the correct gender, they shouldn't get punished because nature screwed you over and put you in a boy's body. That's not fair. I know fair doesn't mean a whole lot anymore. It's not fair. It's not just. You need to go through many years of hormone therapy and you need to be brought down to size, so to speak, before you're ever allowed to participate in a female sport. You can call me caveman, you can call me not progressive, you can call me not understanding, you can call me an asshole for that view, but I promise you there's a lot of people in society that see that. Probably on both sides of the fence. Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, progressive, caveman. There are comedians that have made this case. I know Chappelle gets shit for it all the time when he makes jokes about transgender people. He makes jokes about everybody, by the way. So if you want to be part of society, then you have to be in the pool with everybody else when it comes to getting made fun of. When it comes to comedy, I'm not talking about bullying. There's a difference. He's not a bully. Comedians aren't bullies. Comedians are humans, and some humans are shitheads, and so some comedians can be bullies, but comedy is not bullying in itself. Okay? So, I think Chappelle said, so what if LeBron James decides he's a female? I'm pretty sure this is a Chappelle bit. If LeBron decides he's a female, does he get to play in the WNBA? Should he be allowed? No. Is that an extreme case? Yes. But does it highlight the bigger problem? Yes. Men and women play in different leagues because they are different biologically. Now, if you want to play the game and follow it to its logical end, why don't we just mix all the all the sports male and female, and let the best players make the team? Have competitions, have 3-point shootouts, have free throw competitions, have layup drills, do all that shit. And if you can't make the team as a female, then you can't make the team. But let there just be one team with mixed male and female. We can't do that because you wouldn't make it. So, I know that I went off on a rant there, but bottom line is, I don't believe in letting guys play with girls just because that they were born incorrectly in the wrong gender with the wrong anatomy. Something else is going to have to be worked out in that situation, especially when it comes to singles competitions like that. I don't know, what was her name? Leah Thompson. She was a guy who was competing as a female in female sports. Was she kicking a lot of ass? Yeah. Because she was biologically superior. Did she win everything? No. But it's still not right. Get the snip, get the operations, go through the hormone therapy for a few years, and then maybe we can discuss some kind of scenario where transgender people are allowed to play with the gender they identify as. But it can't be just, you can't be playing basketball with 4 other girls and be the 5th girl and have a dick. Sorry, I can't get on board with that. Right or wrong, I can't get on board with that. Carrie Lake. I don't know if anybody knows who Carrie Lake is. Carrie Lake is the loser. She is the female version of Trump. She was some talking head on an opinion show. Newscaster, whatever. Opinion. She's a Republican. She's clearly fucking insane. She ran for governor and she lost. And then she went to court and she lost. And she says she's the duly elected governor still. She still claims she's governor. What I don't understand is how she doesn't know, actually, I am the duly elected governor of Arizona. You both lost to me. That's the real conspiracy. I am the governor of Arizona. So I feel your pain, Carrie. I really do. You feel you were cheated, but what you didn't realize is I was cheated even more, because you were only cheated by one side. I was cheated by both sides. I ran as an independent for the Arizona gubernatorialship, and it was stolen from me. I say this because I believe it's true. I don't have any evidence to support it, but I feel it. The system's corrupt. There were enough people in Arizona that I know weren't stupid enough to vote for either one of you or your opponent, and they secretly knew about me through videos and podcasts and mental projection, and knew I was the person for that job. But they refused to put me on the ballot. But a lot of people wrote me in, but they wouldn't record that. They didn't count those ballots that had me written in. So, in case anybody's wondering, if anybody can reach out to Carrie Lake and let her know, it's okay. Tell her I feel her pain, because actually I'm the governor of Arizona, and it was stolen from me too. Here's an interesting thing. This won't take long. Larry Kudlow is like the Pat Robertson of Fox News. You know, he's Pat Robertson minus the religion. If Republican senators vote for the omnibus bill, they are betraying voters. Now, he went on Fox News and said, basically, right before the Republicans took control of the Senate, or the House, the Senate passed a spending bill that was going to last through 2023, and it passed bipartisan, as bipartisan as it could be. It passed the Senate, and then it passed the House. Now, the House was Republican minority at the time. The Democrats had the majority, so they rushed to get the bill passed, and it passed. Now, it passed because Democrats had the majority and voters put them in. The argument that I hate to hear from people is, well, and this is what Larry Kudlow was trying to make a case for as well, people just voted in an election, and they voted to have more Republicans than Democrats, which would put Republicans in the majority, and they would have control of what passes and what doesn't, more or less. But what he's saying is, if Republicans do anything to help Democrats pass bills, before the beginning of the year had passed, when Republicans took control, then the Republicans were not fulfilling the will of the voters. And here's what I say to that. Yes, he's right for anything that comes to the floor after the first of the year. Before the first of the year, it was fair game because voters had put Democrats in the majority. So you can't make the case that you're going against the voters for anything that passes before the year ends, because the voters put Democrats in the majority. So they were still in power. So don't fucking cry about it and say that you're being cheated, and the Republicans that are working to pass some kind of bipartisan bills are the enemy, because once the Republicans have the majority, they won't have to do anything that Democrats like. Okay? You're a whiny little bitch, and he's always been that way. Every time he comes up in a news article, he's always whining and crying. Yes, Democrats do the same thing, but this one in particular, I hate fucking hypocrisy. And he's a hypocritical old man, an old white man, who should probably crawl into a cave and just die quietly. The voters are not being betrayed because Republicans are doing their job in the House before year's end by helping Democrats pass a bill that needed to pass. Okay? Because voters voted Democrats into the majority for that session. So until that session ends, the voters are being represented properly by getting shit done before year's end. Now, you want to play games and take your ball and go home, or hold your fucking breath after the first of the year because you have the majority and you don't want to do anything that might help Democrats or make Democrats look good, or actually be good for the people, because if it's good for the people and Democrats like it, then it's not good for the people. That's just the way it works. And that's the way government works right now anyways, is if it's good for the people, but one side likes it, then the other side is bound by simple affiliation of the opposite party. They are bound to say it's bad, even if it's good for the people. So they won't work with them. They won't get it passed. And Republicans are notorious for that. They would rather do nothing for their entire terms, because then they can say, well, we didn't actually take a stand on anything, so you can't actually blame us for anything being fucked up, while Democrats try to get stuff done but still can't do it because they can't get their own party together half the time, because some of them are trying to do the right thing and some of them are trying to do the same thing. So Larry Kudlow, bottom line, you can go fuck yourself. Let's see, what else? Anything else going on? Cancel culture, I'm starting to get tired of that. If you don't like something, just sit there and don't like it. You can have an opinion. You can post your opinion. You can tell the world your opinion. I don't care, but don't tell everybody else that they have to have the same opinion. I'm not telling you have to have the same opinion as I do. What I'm doing is sharing my opinion and hoping others out there will at least identify with what I'm saying. You can be for or against it, but at least I'm willing to have a conversation about certain things. I'm not saying anybody that's opposite of me is wrong. I'm merely expressing and explaining myself so that you can understand how I'm thinking and maybe either come to my way of thinking or help me come to your way of thinking by expressing yourself like an adult. Or we can work together and say, you know what? I think you have some good ideas and some bad ones. I probably have good ideas and bad ones. Maybe we can work together and get both of our good ideas together and weed out the bad parts of it and fucking get shit done. What a concept. Isn't that what government's supposed to fucking be? Well, you know why government's not like that? It's because people aren't like that. And people suck. That's why. That's why I'm doing this shit. Not only is it for my benefit, it's like therapy for me, because nobody wants to sit here in a room with me and listen to me fucking ramble on about shit. But if you want to listen to me here and there on YouTube or in any other social media app, great. Maybe at some point I'll get popular and we can start talking about things on a larger scale. So, cancel culture. Sam Jackson didn't realize other users were able to see what he'd been liking on Twitter. Yeah, probably because he's got a life and a career and shit to do, and it's his opinion if he likes something or doesn't like something. I guess he liked something that had to do with porn videos, and everybody decided to shit on him. You know what? First of all, Sam Jackson is above reproach. I just say that because I think that he's one of the greatest actors and personalities of our time. I think he's probably one of the straightest shooters there are. And also, I don't like this whole thing of, oh my God, somebody saw what I liked. I guess I can't like stuff anymore. He shouldn't have to worry about that. Fuck you people. If he likes something and you don't like it, shut up and move on. It's real simple. Shut up and move on. But don't take a shit on somebody or try and ruin their career because they like something you don't like. Unless he's liking child porn or child murder, or some horrific shit, shut up. Let the fucking person live their life. Cancel culture. Fuck me. This one, this goes into another thing. God damn. Just because a movie or a TV show portrays something in it that is similar to a situation you're going through or a disability you have, whether it be mental or physical, doesn't mean it's about you. And it doesn't mean you get to dictate whether or not other people should be able to see that show or movie or music video or whatever. Okay? Fucking A. I'm fat. Do I get upset every time they show fat people in movies or on TV or on the internet? No. Do you know why? Because I'm a fucking adult. I'm fat. I did it to myself. I'm undoing it as we speak. But just they make fun of fat people. I don't care. Because I know it's not about me. This person in this article has a physical disability. I guess it's called Marfan syndrome. Here's the headline. A person with Marfan syndrome on TikTok wants horror movies to stop exploiting his disability. You know what? It's not about you. It's not about you. Here's his quote. Something I've noticed in my horror consumption is that a lot of monsters looked like me, and that's why people are terrified. Very few people talk about this aspect of disability representation. Okay? If it's a monster, it's not about the disability. It's about how scary can they make the character look. Now, if that character, who's supposed to be scary for the purposes of the movie plot, happens to look like your disability, I don't give a fuck. Shut up. Don't watch it anymore. If you look like that in real life, people are going to fucking look at you and make comments about you and be afraid of you anyways. Okay? Because you're not normal. Nature fucked you. It happens. But don't fuck with, with our entertainment. It's not about you. It isn't. I'm sorry that it looks like you, but it's not about you. And they shouldn't have to stop making movies about monsters because something in it looked like you. There's, almost 8 billion people on the fucking planet now? Somebody's bound to look like somebody else. Okay? If we decided to not do stuff because of every single comment that was made about it hurting somebody's feelings, nothing would ever get done. Nothing would ever get made. At 47, in the middle of fucking Iowa, in the middle of the United States, why do I have to say that? Why do I have to say that out loud to a bunch of other adults? I have to explain why this is fucking stupid. Why do I have to do that? I shouldn't have to, but I do. I'm not going to back away from the responsibility. Yes, you've got a disability. I'm sorry it's scary looking. Life gives you lemons. Fucking make lemonade or drink vodka with it. I don't care. Do whatever you got to do. I don't know where this happened, but a server with no money forced to pay Dine and Dasher's bill. Obviously, I think I speak for everybody when I say, yeah, that's a stupid fucking rule. If you're a server and somebody takes off without paying, you're not fucking Superman. What would they tell you? What would they tell you as a clerk if you're being robbed? Do they tell you to defend the cash register at all costs? Risk your life? No. What do they tell you to do? They tell you to step away and let the person with the weapon take the money because it's not worth your life, because that place can't afford to pay the amount they're going to get sued by telling you to fight with your life to protect that register. So, do I think a server deserves to have their pay docked because somebody fucking took off, was a thief and a shithead? No, that's on the company. That's on the business. That you do not punish the server for that. I don't even know why this is an article either. I don't even know why it's a thing. It shouldn't be. I'm getting worked up tonight. What else we got? Here's one that this is one where I have fully supported Texas Governor Greg Abbott. I hate him on a level that very few people reach, but he's been shipping migrants to other states, especially Democratic ones, and shipping them to houses of Democrats, because he's tired of the lack of border security that we have and the government's inability to slow down the illegal immigration flow. This is one of those things where I am on board with this idea, because the border state is so centralized and so localized, the rest of the country really doesn't feel it. They really don't understand how many people are coming across the border. I'm not going to argue whether or not that's a good or bad thing that we have people coming here, because they want to come here for a better life. I got no problem with that. The fact that we haven't figured out how to come up with a process to move that process of becoming a citizen faster and more easily done is our failure. It's our failure as a government. If you're gonna constantly preach to the world that you're the greatest country on the planet, you should expect that lots of people are going to want to come here then. And lest we not forget, we stole this fucking country to begin with. Wasn't ours. I know people like to not remember that and not listen to that. Wasn't ours. We came here illegally, and then we set up a government on an illegally obtained piece of land and then started regulating the people that could come in. Well, somebody should have foreseen that this would happen, that people would want to come here en masse. The problem is we haven't, and therefore people are coming across illegally. So, I think it's not a bad idea to ship these migrants everywhere across the United States, because it is a countrywide problem, but it's only being felt on the border of the country. So, yeah, ship these fucking people everywhere so that everybody knows what's going on. Everybody sees them. And then we spread out the problem a little bit more so that one state or two states aren't responsible for handling the entire flow of immigrants. Hey, policymakers, you guys were voted into office to fucking do something. How about you pass legislation and get some more places and more places set up, people trained to work on the immigration issue, to get people either citizenship or shipped back to wherever they're from. You set up the parameters, get enough people in charge and enough places to do it, and let's work them through. The whole Republican thing is, well, we can't have abortion because you're killing people, and we need people, and this country needs people because we don't have enough people. Well, there's people coming in every day, right at the border. Let's use them. They're factory made. They're ready to go. They don't have to grow up. They want to come here and work and make a better life. I would argue that they are more American than some of the Americans that are born here, because people that are born here are entitled. They are so entitled, fucking prissy, whiny pieces of shit. America is a great country, and it could be a lot greater if it wasn't for the fucking Americans in it. You were born here by accident. People are coming here risking their lives for this place, okay? You're not risking your lives by playing armed governors and other stupid shit, all right? So, anyway, yeah, I'm on board with sending the migrants everywhere. And then every state should be responsible for helping integrate them into our society until the government, federal, fixes the fucking problem. A Texas maintenance worker mistaken for intruder shot and killed while checking for burst pipes. This goes right back to, hey, not everybody should have a fucking gun because people are stupid. So this guy was in an apartment complex. He was out on the balcony checking for burst pipes, working there, doing his job, got shot by the neighbor because the neighbor thought he was breaking in. So here we have a person who shouldn't have had a gun to begin with, probably because they used it improperly and took a life, unjustified, because breaking into an apartment, that's A, the homeowner's problem. B, you didn't actually see them breaking in. You just decided to shoot and ask questions later. Okay? That's where the nuance thing comes in again. Yes, if you're at home and somebody's breaking into your place and you shoot and kill them, shit happens. But if you're the neighbor and you don't know what the fuck is going on, maybe call the police and don't just kill somebody and hope you're right. Whoever pulled the trigger and killed that poor fucking guy trying to do his job, that deserves a death penalty. That deserves a death penalty to me. You take a life in a completely irresponsible and entitled manner like that. I just shot him and killed him because I thought he was breaking in. Okay, well, you were wrong, so you're going to get the firing squad. You're going to have a real tough time arguing that one against me. I'll listen, but you would have to have a real compelling case to argue why I should just be able to go out and shoot somebody because I think they're doing something wrong. And if I'm wrong, fuck. Shit happens. I meant well. Ugh. 3 dead after falling through ice on Arizona lake. Yeah. Like I say, always Darwin does his best work from the grave. If you're out on a lake, I don't care if it's frozen or not, if you fall and then die, you had it coming because you're on a lake and you don't know how thick the ice is. And it's a dangerous situation you're putting yourself in. Sorry, my ass does not bleed for you on that one. Cops raid hospital room of terminally ill man with weeks left to live to seize pain-relieving THC paste. Whoever the narc was that told cops that this guy had THC paste while he was dying really should have his balls smashed or his vag taped shut for a couple weeks. I don't know who did it. I don't care. Don't be a fucking narc. Quit being a narc. Okay? Guy's dying. He's using fucking drugs to help ease his pain while he dies. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Mind your business. I don't care if you work there or not. Mind your fucking business. Iowa man who tried to vote twice charged with election misconduct. Yeah. You notice how all the cases that are... most of the cases of voter fraud are being caused by people who are the ones bitching about voter fraud? Find that odd? Coincidental? Tried to vote twice to prove a point. Well, good job. You proved that the system works, and when somebody does try to fuck with the election, they get caught. Thank you for proving our point that the elections weren't stolen. Okay? There's always a little bit of fraud in everything. You know why? Because humans are involved in everything. So nothing's perfect. But it's never been so unperfect that an election could be stolen. You fucking retard. Ugh. There's also... there's a disturbing trend that seems to be picking up steam where... and it's been happening, for the longest time, but because our access to news around the country and around the world is becoming easier to have, you read about it more. And the trend is going out. You have a fire in your yard, bonfire, whatever, and it's starting to die out, and you decide to help nurture the flames back up to get the fire going again. You just take a gas can and pour gas into it. I don't like it's. I've read two articles now, one a father and one a mother. They both decided to pour gasoline on an open bonfire to help get it going again, and the gas cans exploded and burned them alive, and they both died. Separate instances. The children were also there both times. So, first of all, it's sad. It's not a tragedy. It's sad. A tragedy is something that shouldn't have happened. It's sad because this shouldn't have happened, but they also should have fucking known better. So actually, they're probably doing the kids a big favor by taking themselves out of the equation, because if you're dumb enough to take a can of gasoline and pour it onto an open fire and you're an adult, I can't have any sympathy for you. I mean, I love fire. I'm a fire bug. I'm a pyro. If I can play with flame, I do it all the time. But I also know what it's capable of, and I know what not to do with it so I don't kill myself. And you've got your kids around, and you take a gas can and pour gas into an open flame, you fucking nutcase. You deserve to die for putting your children through that and teaching them a stupid fucking lesson to begin with. Fuck, dude. This guy, is this in the UK? Let's see. It doesn't say where it is, but it doesn't matter. A mother whose children were slaughtered by their own dad has confessed to feeling pity for her deranged husband, who is obsessed with QAnon conspiracy theories. Matthew Coleman had become convinced that his wife Abby, his wife Abby, who was 35 years old, Matthew Coleman's 42, he was convinced that his wife had infected their infant children with serpent DNA. The bizarre theory is based on the wide-reaching and completely unfounded conspiracy that political and business elites are a cabal of reptilian pedophiles. That's what believing stupid shit will do to you. Okay? You want to know what the difference is between the sides? You don't have a lot of people going out and killing people because of atheism. Or because Republicans are cold-hearted pieces of shit. They don't just go out and kill them. There's definitely no conspiracy theories on our side where we think mass killing is the way to go. I don't think Republicans are demons. I think they're humans and they're evil. They're stupid, a lot of them. They don't care about humans and people. They just care about money and power and property. Yeah. So, can you imagine being so fucking wound up in lies and horseshit that you kill your own kids? QAnon. QAnon. Gotta love it. And I think we're going to wind up here. I think I've been ranting for over an hour. I just want to say that I appreciate you guys listening. I know some of what I say may anger people. You may think I'm vulgar. You may think I'm not understanding enough or whatever, but believe me, my intentions are pure. I do have a heart of gold, but I also am a realist about certain things, and yeah, I'm not going to agree with everybody. Everybody's not going to agree with me. But we need to come together and find some common ground somehow. And the way to do that is to admit that no one side has all the answers, because they don't. Republicans and Democrats, religious people and atheists, we got to be able to find some common ground somehow. Now, I will say that being a Democrat or a liberal or progressive or an atheist, we have the harder job because we are trying to negotiate with people who are insane and believe in magic and mysticism and other horse shit. So they don't deal with reality like we do. It makes it harder for us. So are we the better choice of the two? Yes. But do we have our problems? Also, yes. There's no way around it. But we still have to try. But don't get me wrong, this whole fucking we go high when they go low horse shit, that's got to end. Because there's too many people that are willing to go low and believe stupid shit. There's not enough of us intellectuals that are getting to the voting booth enough or putting forth candidates who are strong enough and smart enough to beat back these fucking mental cases. So, anyway, you'll find my links in the description, and you'll find my email address if you want to send me any comments. Please like and subscribe. Got to learn to say that now that I'm going to try and make this an actual thing. And expect the next episode on Sunday night. All right? Thanks for hanging with me. This is the NyteTime Podcast, NYTE, not your typical energy. And I am Matt Higgins. Be safe out there. Peace, love, and gossip.